wait till you see this. Really fabulous. A lot of boat here. This is pretty nice. I mean, just look at the space. Is that slick? Very nice touch. Just wonderful. Wow, this is gonna dazzle your eyes. Hi there, this is Captain Q and my old sailing buddy Randy. Join us as we travel hither and yon as we look for some great deals on classic boats and learn a little with each one.
Hey, Captain.
Hey Randy, I hear you, buddy.
A little cloud gazing?
Oh, I love these clouds. I've got pictures of clouds and paintings of clouds in my home. And one of my favorite artists is Buttersworth from the 18th century, 18th, 19th century artist who produced great marine paintings.
Oh yeah, you have a couple of those at your house, right?
I do. And they're absolutely fabulous. I've just discovered a platform called Masterworks, who, by the way, were kind enough to help sponsor this particular episode today. And with Masterworks, this is really kind of fun. And they're selecting some of the finest masterpieces on the market today. And you are given the opportunity to invest in a piece of that art that they have just discovered and purchased. I can actually own a piece of art that is worth millions of dollars, okay?
Really?
Like a Monet or a Picasso, or maybe one of my Buttersworths. Their returns from Masterworks have been over 30% for each of the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
How is art as an investment? Should we invest in a boat or invest in a car? There's all sorts of good investments in this world. Art has been a solid one, though. Over the last 25 years, art investing has outpaced Standard & Poor's by 160%.
Oh, wow. But how do you invest in like a Picasso? Like, I'd love to own a Picasso, but I can't pay billionaire prices.
Using this platform, Randy, you just buy a fraction of these paintings, and then at some point that painting might sell, and you're given the opportunity to divest yourself of your stock.
What happens if I want to sell my share before they sell the painting?
You can sell it right to another Masterworks member if you like.
Oh, okay. So it's like a kind of a marketplace for members.
It really is. If you'd like to learn more about this, it's called masterworks.io, and we've put a link to it down here below our episode, as always. Tell them that Captain Q sent you, and you'll get a free cup of coffee.
I don't think you'll get that.
Well, Randy, hey, enough about paintings and Masterworks. I hope people will take an opportunity to go online and see what they have to offer. But today we're going to talk about another type of Masterworks, and that's the Masterworks of yacht design. To understand this boat and how it came to be, you have to understand and know a little bit about a man named Tai Ouyang. He was born in China. He lost his parents. He was very poor. He had no education. He went off and apprenticed himself to woodworkers and did what he could to make a living. He then started to travel all around Asia and finally ended up in India and ended up making furnishings for offices all around India. But then about 1964, if you were Chinese living in India, you were asked to leave. So he got help through some ministry to get a boat ride for him and his 3 children up to Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And there he got a job with Whitby Boat Works, utilizing his woodworking skills. And the thing about Tai that set him apart a little bit is that he was very determined and he had a big heart. But that went against the grain of some of the people at Whitby, and they suggested maybe he should find employment elsewhere. Tai opens up his own shop, and with the help of his 3 sons, he starts to build the Aloha line of boats. He went off and he found people like Ted Brewer, Bob Wallstrom, Bob Perry, and our designer of the day, Mark Ellis. And Mark Ellis designed the boat we're going to look at today. Here she is.
So what am I looking at?
You're looking at a boat in the water for a first time, right? We haven't seen one of these all winter long. This is our springtime debut, isn't it? And we're looking at an Aloha 32 built in 1985. If you recall Mark Ellis' history, he worked with Ray Hunt, went off and he worked with Ted Hood for a while, then he worked with Rhodes, and then later, as I say, moved to Canada and worked with CNC. Now, when you look at some of these things, the lines on the boat has very definitely a spring shear that might have come from Rhodes pen. Okay, so he's learned the cabin trunk. I don't know, it just reminds me of CNC and some of the other boats built up there by Hinterholer in Canada. And we like it too. It also reminds us a lot of Chuck Payne's work, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of a squared off.
Not saying who came first here. I think probably this might have come first. But it makes for a handsome line that looks like old world boating, right?
Yeah. What's the underbody look like?
The underbody is a fin keel, the long fin, with a little rudder hung right all the way aft here. I don't know that you can see it in this water. The water's still a little dark, but the rudder's right down there, straight down. She's very sprightly. The owners and their friends speak of how well this boat sails.
What kind of bow? Did we have a musher? Is it cutaway?
Oh, it's a cutaway bow with a fin keel. This is a style that's come to be where all naval architects said, we're not going to go real deep. We got to have somewhat of a shoal draft, 5-foot draft or so, and we're going to have a spade rudder so that you can handle the boat. She's kind of beamy. She's 10 foot, 10 inches in beam, and you're going to see how that works out below decks. But this was really set up more for cruising, and it's a 32 footer, and we've looked at an Allied 32 Island Packet 27, and that was quite roomy too, surprisingly so. But this, I think you're going to be amazed at how comfortable this boat is.
Yeah, let's hop on board.
We love the subscribers.
Yeah, more subscribers means that we're going to get recommended to more people, and so that helps spread the love and spread the word about old classic boats and what we're doing, so every little bit helps.
Thanks again.
It's a familiar spot.
Oh, it is, Randy, and I'm pretty comfortable here.
You're missing something, though.
I know.
Did you put it in the car already?
I believe the owner has taken it home to either varnish it or to rewrap the elk hide.
Why do they choose elk hide?
Oh, elk hide is, it seems to be fairly tough, and it holds up to the weather and salt water, and it gives you a nice firm grip on the wheel, and it's actually warmer in your hand than cold aluminum. T-shaped cockpit, right? T-shaped. Helmsman's got his own space. He's got a slightly tilted footwell down here, so when you're on a port tack, you can be standing straight, looking right up at your sails. There's always little touches. If you've spent time around either one of the sea and sea people, you're going to develop little things that have to do with making a boat go fast. And the separated cockpit, wheel steering, this sort of thing. A settee down here for the helmsman to sit. Oh, and boy, is this comfortable right now. I just sat down here. This is so comfortable because I'm really locked into this combing. Even with the wheel there, I'm going to have a lot of legroom forward, which is great for taller sailors. I could stand up and crank the jib in for, rough cruising. The main sheet is located on top of the cabin right there, right in front of you. That's a bit of a reach for the helmsman, but again, not the end of the world. Little keeper holes with fiddles for your winch handles and candy bars and so forth. Engine controls are right down by my knee, and they have a little plastic cover that slides over them. And there's a Westerbeek, I think she's 21 horsepower motor in this. And now this boat has not been used, and you'll notice some aspects of that, for a couple of years. And I believe they have had the boat for about 22 years.
Oh, wow.
And they are the second owner. It's kind of nice to have a two-owner boat, isn't it? I'm sitting on a locker just like this one right here, and that's room for a propane tank. They've used it for line storage. And on the other side, we have the propane tank. Right here is their version of a garage. Just got some life-saving gear and harnesses and life jackets stowed away. In the way back, in the lazarette, we have a handheld shower.
And that's got full pressure and all that?
Pressure, hot and cold water, yes.
Oh, wow.
We have a shallow one.
Oh.
And you know what that means, of course.
That means we're going to have a quarter berth underneath it.
Right. And this is good. They've done a nice thing here. They've put all of their safety equipment here. You see here flares and all the stuff you need, the gun to shoot a flare up in the sky.
How many pieces of flare?
37 pieces of flare. Here, because this boat hasn't been used too much and aired out, you're going to find this sort of mildew and mold on on bits and pieces of it.
I'm kind of curious how you'd fix this beautiful piece of teak here.
Oh, this is a perfect example of something you could just literally fill it with an epoxy, maybe, I would think. And the whole piece is a little loose.
Yeah.
You might even pull the piece off. Probably a proper carpenter would drill out this bung right here, put the screw out, pick this up, clean off underneath of this, and then put it back in place and clamp the heck out of this right there. What do you say? You want to take a little walk forward?
Yeah, let's go check out the foredeck.
Look at the waterways here in a 32-foot boat. It helps to have that 10-foot, 10 inches of beam, doesn't it?
I also see something that you like.
I know what that is.
Do you?
What do you think it is?
Well, there's two. Well, now I see two things.
Two things.
One is a rail that goes the full length of the hull.
This is amazing. This is part, I saw this originally, I thought, what is that? And then when I did some research into Ouyang yachts, this is how they bolted it. And they use what they call a hat box way of putting the deck onto the hull. The hull has an internal flange, and then the deck sits down on top of that, and then they've taken the rail and run it all the way the full length. Now, CNC back then was using the perforated rail, weren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know why they went with this, except, you know something, the perforated rail is great to hang things into, but it's tricky to move blocks from one space to the next. This one, you can just take a car and slide it 32 feet. And what was the other thing you saw?
The handrails.
Oh, the handrails. These are full length. I'm walking inside these shrouds. They're pretty close to outboard, but easily gets the captain past them. You're not really bumping into it. It was a good piece of design work to set them this far out anyway. Well, that inboard track there, I'm not certain what they'd set up on here, if they'd use the outboard track. The cars seem to be on the outboard rail on this boat. And this may be for a staysail track down here. Nice big foredeck. It's so nice walking around up here. We have a little bowsprit here for you.
Ooh, I'll take it.
You like that?
I do.
You could probably launch yourself up there.
Yeah.
That doesn't coil up on the drum like we've seen on most roller furling units. This actually is a roller that you pull like this, and you pull it in, rotate it out of the way.
Huh.
It's a very simple drive mechanism. I've never actually used one, but they make sense certainly on a boat this size.
So why would you have the single? Just because you have less lines running? Is that the advantage?
I don't really know why you would pick one over the other, but there may be a strength factor here too. With these smaller sails,
Yeah.
you don't really need to put the roller furling line on a winch, do you?
No.
So we got a waste pump out plug right here up in the bow, which tells me that we've got a holding tank, probably located under the V-berth. We have the roller furling jib and the main halyard, which on this rig is a little fouled up there, I see right now.
Is it easy to unfoul it? Is it just unwrapping it, or?
No, let's just see what this is. I'm going to address this when we get finished with the shoot today. But interesting, I've never seen a mast this clean with no winches on it.
Oh yeah.
There aren't even holes where the winches were.
I guess you're not running a spinnaker then.
No. Let's take a look down below. What do you say?
Oh yeah, let's check it out.
Follow me down. Okay, Randy.
Yeah.
Once again, I have taken my perch below decks, and it gives me a good vantage point to take a look at all sorts of aspects of the boat. First of all, I walked down here, and you know, my head was a couple inches from the overhead here, so you got 6'2", almost 6'3" headroom in the center line of the boat. She's got a 10-foot, 10-inch beam. That's about 6 inches wider than the Allied Seawind ketch. That is a kind of frame of reference for me on boats this size. I like these molded headliners on these smaller boats. They're very practical. Great big port windows right here. And we have good sturdy plastic opening ports, port and starboard. Below and behind the berths, this is really nice woodwork here, all oiled and done very well. And it comes with the rattan ventilation for the lockers. And you can look in this locker too, and can you see, take a look at the chain plate in here. That looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
The spar, this is a nice touch here. They've just boxed the spar in. Spar's right behind here. But it just lends a little more, I don't know, warmth to the boat, not having a big cold item coming down like so. We have a very nice galley table here. Let me just show you this. So this table comes down, opens up. We have 2 legs here. Okay, they drop down. Another leg on this side comes down, and you have a really nice, stable table. Huh? So, cast and crew can all gather around this table, and in the meantime, you're going to have a place to store your libations. So anyway, I'm going to now show you how easily this table goes back up, okay?
I believe it when I see it.
Okay, this is going to dazzle your eyes. Here we go, we're finished with the table. Put the table away, crew. Okay, I set it up like so. I set this one in place. I move that up, twist that. Twist the one down here, you see that? And then we fold this. This is our little guy that gave us some trouble before, but I'm going to fold this right up. Great big double berth here. This is kind of cool. Now, bear with me, because we've only done this once or twice. There's a little arm that swings out here, and a little arm that swings out like so. And then we just pull this slider piece out, and it locks in place. Pull this cushion like so, out. This backrest cleverly drops in place. What do you think about that?
That's pretty inviting.
I'm gonna. Can we skip the 4-peak berth today? And I just want to use this one right now.
2 naps.
I am gonna try this berth right now.
This is a twofer.
This is pretty nice. Big double for a big man or a couple kids, and we have storage lockers overhead, all ventilated, and of course these little lockers outboard. 32-footer, big quarter berth.
Wow.
Super big quarter berth. Captain Q size when he was younger. And let's try out this nav table. Ooh. This has a couple of features I like. Okay. One is the table slightly canted down toward me, so I can work on it. I don't have to go like this. I can just work on charts and so forth right in front of me. It has a nice big storage area underneath. And all your electric panel here, your 110 volt control panel, of course your 12 volt, and you can check, we can switch that on and you will see, I guess it's on right now. We can just do a battery check. There's a battery checker, that'll settle down in a minute. And there's the other bank, first bank and second bank. And your light switches, bilge pump, nicely set up here. But let's check out his chart table. You ready? Yeah. Drum roll. Oh, we're going to lose a point here, aren't we?
I think so.
Notice down right beside me, it'll be hard for you to see, but there's a little opening hatch here. You see this?
Yep.
And there's another piece behind it. That's going to give us access to the engine. And I'll show you where the engine is. It's right beside me. Isn't that a surprise? I really like this boat. This boat is nicely set up. That comes out of the way nicely. Here's our trap for the engine. Now, it's not real pretty there because they had some oil spillage at one point, and it's been cleaned up. But last report we have from the owners is last time they were on the boat, the engine ran like a champ. Now, we're also looking at a funny transmission right there, aren't we?
Yeah. V-drive?
It's a V-drive. You got it.
All right.
And that's so they can put the engine further back in the boat and give you a little more room in the cabin and have the prop come out at the right angle.
It's like a Raycore missing the top half of the Raycore?
No, that's just the style.
Oh.
Yeah, because you can see the glass jar
it's down
underneath
beneath.
it.
Okay.
Lots of space here. There's a little cutting board on top of the stove. We always see these. Nothing unique, but 3 burners with an oven, and I can tell in there that oven's been used. This is very nice. Great big ice chest with a sliding tray and room for 100 pounds of ice. And, well, okay, we've got food storage. Now, let's get to our electronics. You want to check on something? How convenient is that? Directly below that, we have a towel rack. It's very handy. And a very deep sink, almost center line. And down below, there's a foot pedal here. This is probably for fresh water. There's more stuff in here. There's more access to your engine room down directly under the sink. And This is a great opportunity for Undoes It. Undoes It would go crazy in this boat, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You want some more counter space? How do you like that?
Always fun.
Is that slick?
Do we have an inverter on board? Because I see some outlets.
What, the outlets on shore for 110 shore power.
Shore power.
Let's move forward. And everything is nice. It's a smaller boat, so everything is here and it's just sort of miniaturized. There's a nice little miniature locker. I don't know what you're going to put in there. There's actually, you know, that could actually be a hanging locker for your foul weather gear, a small one. I'm stepping now into the head department, and this is a feature I really like on this boat. I'm going to tricky to show you, but we had this on our on the first big cruising boat we had, which was a Dutch steel 44-foot catch. And what they've done here, if you look down below, you'll see the shower grate looks like it's going right out into the passageway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's where you shower. And there's a bifold door, and I'll close this and hopefully leave my fingers intact, like so. There's a curtain rod up here for shower curtain, so I can stand right here and shower and have just a lot of room in this head on a 32-footer. Thwartship's head, but I'm glad they put a handle here for us, right? Here's the handheld shower feature right here. Hang that right up and enjoy your shower. She carries 60 gallons of water and 30 gallons of fuel. Uh-oh.
There you go.
That's a beauty, isn't it? Just under sink storage and access to through-hull fittings and another foot bilge pump down there. Now right behind me is another minor feature, but this is plexiglass on here, but it's totally clear. So you don't have to open up to find out where the toilet paper is or where the flashlight is. The bulkheads are sitting nicely in the overhead molding. The doors look very true. Lots of nice evenness to that. Fit.
If the doors weren't true, would that be a sign that you had some impact at some point?
No, it'd be a sign that the boat's been working too much and maybe it's been torqued a little bit. Nice ceilings out there. See, they're all finished in wood. Everything is very nice in the boat. It's just wonderful. And 32 feet. Wow. A lot of boat here. Wait till you see this. The captain can just sit right down here. And we have two big hatches here. One right over your head that's in the head, actually. But there's also a giant hatch over the V-berth right up here.
Uh-oh.
With screens on it. We've got little reading lights at each berth. And again, these lockers are all vented. So I'm going to try this today for you because I know you want it. And it does come with a pillow and a nice big one. So here we go. See if we can bend the knees. Oh, far enough. How's that? Ooh, lots of room for that. Not for the other knee. Oh, you're loving this. I hate you. Okay. I'd be very comfortable here. And if I was on a mooring, the amount of breeze coming through here on a nice summer evening right up there. Wow. Again, all nice oiled teak all throughout the boat.
Yeah. Would you leave it oiled or would you varnish it up?
I'm not going to varnish it, no. Are you kidding me? This boat...
I mean, you have grandchildren.
I have to do what?
Varnish it.
Good night, Randy.
We'll leave on that note.
Good night, Randy.
Right, bye-bye.
All right, Randy.
Captain.
Hey. Once again, we find a really swell little boat, and as I mentioned before, this is sort of a bookend for us, having just seen another Mark Ellis design called a Bruckman 50, and that was a little different price range, okay? Considerably more money, but an amazing boat and a terrific piece of design. Today we had a chance to look at an Aloha 32, also designed by Mark Ellis. Great use of space inside, some of the better that we've seen for a boat this size. I particularly liked the head and the shower arrangement. Big pull-out double berth in the main cabin. The reputation of the boat is they sail like crazy, so a comfortable, fast cruising sailboat and reasonably priced. Okay, we want to rate this boat right here. I'm going to tell you off the bat, I know for sure, without doubt, unquestionably, that boat floats. I do like Mark's designs. They're crisp, they're clean, they're just a wholesome design boat. And I'm going to give him, I'm going to give it a 5 points for the Mark Ellis. We're up to 15. The layout and the space surprised me. I think it's a remarkable piece of design work. So I'm going to give him another 10 on top of the 15.
Oh wow.
We're up at 25 on this boat, nav station.
But plus
Huh?
1 for the shower?
I'm going to take 1 off for the nav station, so we're at 24.
Yep.
But I'm going to give him 2 for the shower.
Yep.
26. I think anybody's going to enjoy this boat. I think the present owners have had this boat for 22 years. They were only the second owner. You could be somebody out there could be the third owner and capture a really nice coastal cruising boat by Mark Ellis.